I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, make sure to check out the rest of the World Juniors content that Coleman and I already have out. The links are all down in the description. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Scotian Canadian channel, and if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications. I got Coleman here with me, and we are going to be covering the World Juniors through this tournament. It's a very exciting time. We got a very deep Canada roster, and we'll definitely get into that. They just finished up their pre-tournament game, as well as the US last night playing Finland, so we'll get into it. We'll start with the United States here, of course, because we got the Montreal Canadiens prospect Cole Caulfield, who looked real good last night against the Finns. A lot of strength shown just in that first pre-tournament game for him, so that's good to see because he's got to have a good tournament after what happened last year. But yeah, he looked really strong all over the ice. I think the big thing for me was that he was just doing all the small things correctly, the stuff that you'd hope that a future NHLer would do. In tight, he was making the right decisions. He didn't panic when he was under pressure. But then, showed off the skill as well with the precision passing and the silky mitts. And he's got some serious poise with the puck. So that was good to see. And of course, those two goals. The first one off a really nice pass from Trevor Zegras. Thread the needle there through traffic and just put it in the wheelhouse for Cole Caulfield. That was great to see. Those two have some really strong chemistry together. So keep an eye out for Cole Caulfield here, number 13 for the United States. Got a ton of skill. And at the end of the game there against the Finns, I don't know if you saw that play where he was with that elite level edge work and backwards crossovers
in the ozone.
Yeah, and then still managed to get the shot off with somewhat accuracy considering the backwards momentum there. So love what we saw from Cole Caulfield last night. And then of course Trevor Zegras, number 9. Keep an eye on him. Another guy with real strong poise with the puck, some nice hands and precision passing. Very good vision from Trevor Zegras there. The States are going to have a really good team, I think. Here they're a little bit more experienced than they were last tournament, and they're going to be looking to rebound after the disappointment last year. And of course, they got Jake Sanderson on the back end, the Ottawa Senators prospect, recently drafted, and he looked real good too. He set up Cole Caulfield's second goal. Strong play at the blue line there, holding the line and then getting past the guy pressuring him to make that nice decision, that pass down around the boards to Cole Caulfield, who then brings it into the front of the net and for some reason decided to go backhand. Yeah. Not a lot of guys will do that. And he picked that corner real well. So, lots of impressive things there from the United States last night. And it's great to have hockey back. But and Tyler's going to go into the Finns here.
Yeah, I thought obviously the Americans were the much better team that game last night. It's hard to really judge much of when these guys been in a hotel room for what, the last quarantine, and then you get out to have a practice. The Finns obviously got in huge penalty trouble, especially in the first 40 minutes. The Americans were on the power play. The Americans, like I said, were a much better team. A few
that power play looked good for the States too, like moving the puck. Yeah. Didn't finish, but still, like it.
Well, it's interesting too because you're talking about Caulfield. There's a few times where Caulfield could have gotten the puck, and they just, especially in the first period, the power plays, they just didn't get him the puck. Yeah. Like there's one time he was just wide open, and I don't know who it was, but the American behind the net. It's like he just refused to give Caulfield the puck. Yeah. That would have been his first goal if they would have got to him. But yeah, the Americans were a much better team last night. They looked like they could be a force here.
Yeah, for sure.
Very deep pool, too, so that's going to be awesome hockey to watch. Anton Lindell for the Finns, number 15, the Florida 12th round draft pick a few years back. I thought he was the Finns' best player. He created the majority of their chances. He had some very nice moves down low. Bigger body for the Finns, something they're going to have to rely on a lot. Topi Niemela, the Maple Leafs draft pick, 3rd round pick. Goal and assist, player of the game for the Finns. I mean, goal and assist, not much saying much when both finished goals were just, I don't want to say flutter shots in the net, but just more or less get pucks in the net. CNI shot got through first goal Spencer Knight. I don't think Spencer Knight was in for their second goal. I don't know who the backup guy, that Wall guy.
Yeah.
So he was in for, I mean, other than those two, but the Brad Lambert, the 16-year-old, I think they were saying on the broadcast, dad's Canadian, played in Europe. That's why he has a super English name.
Yeah, it's so strange hearing that name.
Oh, it's hilarious. Yeah. But for a 16-year-old, like, he wasn't getting pushed off the puck. He really didn't look out of place. And it's funny because minus the cages that the underagers have to wear, I thought he was, like, pretty, like, for a 16-year-old, I'd love to see where he's going to get drafted. I think the 2022 draft, he gets drafted.
Right.
And the only reason I bring it up is in the Switzerland game prior to that against Austria, the Swiss had a small defenseman, 16 years old. And you just see even the Austrians were just like pushing him around. So if Brandon Lambert to hold his ground against the Americans, says a lot about
Yeah,
that kid.
it's impressive. Yeah,
Yeah, it
very
really
impressive.
is.
I'm glad you brought that up about the Leafs prospect there getting player of the game. So in that game, a Habs prospect
Yes.
and a Leafs prospect get
Yeah.
player of the game. So that's good to
2
see.
points each.
You know, a Leafs fan here and Habs fan here, obviously. So you'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we move on to Team Canada? Enough of talking about the States.
That's
You know,
what's
and
that's
first and
what.
foremost, we may as well talk about it now. Third period, Kirby Dach goes in
Yeah.
for the hit, you know, and
Yeah.
that did not look good at all. You hate to speculate, but the reaction that he had and the way his
You don't
wrist
take your
looked,
glove off, and when he was skating to the train or to the bench, you clearly he's showing the trainer like there's something
yeah,
wrong here. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I'm assuming something broke,
yeah,
which is tough. Didn't get his arm up, jammed,
yeah.
thing snaps back.
And that would be, you know, that would be heartbreaking for this guy if he is truly injured and out long term, possibly missing the rest of this tournament because he wasn't able to play for Team Canada last year. He was with the Chicago Blackhawks, and he asked specifically to be named to this Canada roster. So to possibly go out before the tournament even starts would be really heartbreaking for a kid like that.
Yeah, you always feel for these guys that
It's a dream for them.
That's what I was going to say. Like, other than winning a Stanley Cup growing up in Canada, I mean, is it not World Juniors?
It's
You know what
gotta
I
be.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like you said, for him to last year with the Hawks, and I mean, a lot of people last year thought the Hawks should have released him, and I'm sure in the back of his mind, he thought there's a good chance he could have represented his country last year.
Yeah.
So, like you said, for him to ask and this to happen tonight, because I mean, skating to the bench going like this, pretty much showing the trainer, like, get me the hell to the locker room.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
It
tough.
did not look good. The
No.
reaction he had, you could clearly tell something was going on. He rushed to the
We
to the
watch
locker
enough
room
hockey
there.
to know, like, the reactions to
Yeah.
see when, okay,
And he
this is
really
serious.
jammed his hand there. And
Yeah, didn't get his arm up in
and he
time.
looked good. This is Canada's captain. This is likely their best player. And
This is a repeat of almost last year.
exactly. You know, Barrett Hayden gets injured
Yep.
early in the tournament, and then there was
Lafreniere almost
Yeah.
got hurt. Well, he did get hurt. Not almost. He did get hurt, and we didn't know if he was going to be ready to go for the tournament.
Yeah. So
So-
another year with early adversity for Team Canada.
Yeah.
Let's really hope that it's nothing. Kirby Dach's going for X-rays tonight. Likely get the results tomorrow, I'd assume. So.
Yeah, I'm assuming tomorrow.
Yeah, that's really rough, really unfortunate.
Because he, like you said, he was buzzing in the first 40 minutes.
Oh,
like,
big time. The
I
hands on him, man.
And that's, like,
how he can just get past it.
you really see the size difference at this level too.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a horse, and I mean,
And think about it now. Chicago releases him for this tournament.
well, yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, you see a lot of teams, NHL teams, take heat for not releasing the guy. And I mean, we're all fans of the term, and it's like greedy. We want to see them all be released, but at the end of the day, now, I mean, they're going to be without Kirby Dach. Brayden Hayden last year, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever the plan was with him, he was going to go back to Arizona. He couldn't go back to Arizona last year. I mean, everybody goes on about, oh, well, you release these guys, good for their development. It's like, I'm sure it is. But at the end of the day, Curtis Lazar got released to play
Yeah.
for Team Canada. Pretty sure, I have to fact checking this, I could be wrong. Pretty sure Vancouver released Jake Virtanen in the 2016 tournament. I mean, where did he go from there?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily buy the whole, oh, you release them, let them go dominate, let them go do their thing.
Yeah, that's a really good
I
really
don't
good
necessarily
point. Yeah.
buy all that nonsense. So, I mean, I just hate when you see all the hate on Twitter, like, oh, Jack Hughes only scored X amount of 5-on-5 goals, he should be at this tournament, or Nick Robinson. I mean, if these guys are slated to be NHL players,
Yeah.
I just don't see the benefit necessarily of them going in. Now, totally different story last year. Kirby Dach wasn't necessarily playing every game to start off the year.
Yeah.
Barrett Hayden, same thing. That's a totally different story. If you want to send those guys back down, but like complain that all the Rangers didn't let Lafreniere go, Jack Hughes,
Capo for
Capo.
Finland,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like, come on, to me, that's just nonsense.
Yeah. But the game itself, very tight game against Russia tonight. Very
Mhm.
tight game.
Yeah.
And you kind of had to expect that with the way Russia plays, how deep Canada is. These are likely, two of the best teams in the tournament.
I think it's the gold medal
very
game.
easily. The gold medal game,
Yeah.
likely. Rematch from last year. So, but it was a great game, some back and forth, a lot of neutral zone play, very strong defensive performances
Yeah.
from both sides. And,
Goaltenders.
yeah, goaltenders look really good. But Canada holds on and wins the game against Russia 1-0 off the goal from number 6, Jamie Drysdale,
Yeah.
returnee. And that was a nice shot from
Smart.
very far away
That's
along
right.
the boards there, too. Like, he picked that corner. And yeah, man, very special player. Exciting for Anaheim Ducks fans having this prospect. in
Oh
their
my
system.
God, yes. It's almost like when Cam Fowler slipped to them. It's like they always find defense Anaheim. The great part about this play is when you watch the replay, when they break it down, is he sees the play developing before he tells Byram where to get the puck up to.
Yeah,
Like, he
exactly.
points to where it goes. You can just see those two offensively, and like Bone Byram was good battle in front of the net tonight. So like, because these offensive defensemen get stuck with the label that they can't defend either. These two are awesome.
Oh,
Like,
big
this
time.
is going to be such an exciting pairing to watch in the
Yeah,
World
the
Juniors.
minutes that they are going
Oh
to
my
log for this
God.
team is going to be
Can you imagine being a
unbelievable.
winger or center getting locked with those guys and they're just making tape to tape? It's none of this off the glass and out. It's just tape to tape.
Yeah.
Great skaters. Yeah, those two are just absolutely deadly together. But yeah, great goal. Great quick release in the net. Just get pucks on net from that point. I'm sure he thought there was a screen.
Yeah.
Just get to the net.
Bowen Byram's what, number 4?
Yes.
I think number 4, yeah. He had his skating, man, is unbelievable. He's doing laps in the ozone. Like,
that whole defense core was one thing. That whole D core can skate.
yeah, oh yeah.
That whole D core for Canada can skate. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good bunch of players in the D.
Oh, big time. Even when you look at, obviously Justin Barron can skate, but then you got Goalie, who's massive.
Goalie can
He's
skate.
one of the best skaters out of his draft.
Thomas Harley, he
Yeah.
can skate no problem. I mean, he played a game last year in Dallas. It wasn't a playoff game, but what were they called there? Those round robin games type thing. He played against the Avalanche.
Oh, yeah.
In the bubble, the qualifying round in the bubble last year. Yeah, this is a really, really mobile defense core and good size.
Yeah.
Really good size in this D core.
Obviously, I'd love to talk about the Habs prospect. I thought Caden Gooley did a good job, in a limited role, shutdown role within the bottom pair with Justin Barron.
Yeah.
Caden Gooley is vicious, man. Along the boards, in the corners. Shades of Shea Weber. Like,
and when you're not hearing their names be called, those are good things.
Exactly.
I mean, we're biased here. You're for the Habs prospect, obviously from where we're located. Huge Justin Barron fan.
Yeah.
But I mean, those two, and they were chucked out there for the final, not necessarily the whole minute because they made a line change. I'll say the last 45 seconds, and there was a whistle to get them off, and they didn't come off.
Exactly, yeah.
So, and I'm happy Gooley was okay because he went into the boards very hard there.
Yeah.
Very hard. So happy. It was great to see him get up and be fine because, I mean, losing 2 players in a pre-tournament game would be absolutely devastating.
Yeah.
So, those two I thought were fine. Just fine.
Yeah, for sure.
And it tells us what role they're going to play going forward.
Yeah, exactly. So that's number 21, Caden Gooley, and number 27,
27
Justin Barron.
Yeah.
So, Halifax Moosehead's player. So, and then there was Quentin Byfield, number 19.
Yeah.
So, and he was buzzing as well.
I
physical
loved,
play.
That's what I
very
loved.
aggressive. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I loved. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. I don't think, quite honestly, I thought the Russians, this was the team they could go out there and win the game 4-1, 5-1. Just for the Canadians, I figured their legs would be there, but just the passing, just a little, just the plays were the skill plays. I don't think we're going to be the timing, stuff like that. So I was really happy to see the Canadians just...
Yeah,
because they controlled the game for the most part.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So, I was really happy with that. Byfield, first shift there, first couple shifts, just banging bodies. Like, why not? He's a man out there. I think they say he's 220 now. Like, come on. Like, why not? Like, just go work below the goal line, create off the cycle. I mean, he's just a load.
Yeah, and as a center, think about the role that he's going to have now if Kirby Dach is out.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean, on him heavy.
Yeah, and that line looked like they were buzzing too in the beginning there. Cousins and Dach too. I mean, Cousins, he's a hell of a player. That team's deep. My favorite is like every year you get addicted to a line and you just fall in love with them. And if this is any indication, it's the New Hawk, Holloway, Pelche line.
Yeah.
Like they're just buzzing out there. They're in on the forecheck. They're grinding. They create off the cycle. They should have had the first goal of the game. I think it was Pelche went off the crossbar maybe, and Holloway and them were banging away at it. That line is phenomenal. Big and
time.
they skill, and Pelche can skate. New Hawk has skill. Holloway, Caulfield teammate, Wisconsin. I love the way that line played tonight. Loved it.
Yeah. So Canada showing off their depth tonight, able to, close out that game 1-0. That's another thing, being able to, put in that situation against a top team.
That's a good point.
And close it out. So great to see. And another one, the goaltending from Canada, we already pointed it out, but Devon Levi, a huge save there in the third on the breakaway.
Well, he saved a breakaway in the second period, saved the breakaway in the third period. I think the most comforting thing is when's the last time maybe Fucali's second year when Canada won the World Juniors in Montreal, Toronto, when's the last time we had a number 1 goalie?
Right off the bat.
Yeah, and I like how they did that too. Nordy's saying this is our starter, this is what we're doing.
No drama. Because it was coming, it was starting to starting to hear that chat.
Because that's what we did last year. Nico Haas.
Yeah.
You're the starter and all that. And it didn't go, but Levi, good for him to have a huge game. That's one thing with Canada, the defense. Defense, I thought solid, sound. Just watch out for those stretch patches. They got burned twice for breakaways tonight for it.
Yeah.
But that was awesome. I was very, very happy to see. And now, Russia really didn't give a whole lot offensively.
No, that I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, because those kids are playing. Like they're
Oh,
like
yeah.
a lot of our guys haven't played a game. Like this was their first game since last year, right? So that's
Some
why I
guys
thought.
haven't played in 9 months or so.
Well,
Like, since
exactly. I
like,
mean,
that's a
and then
long
they were in
time to go.
quarantine camp.
Yeah.
So they were what 10 days, whatever it was,
Yeah,
off the
missed
ice.
out. Yeah, missed out on a lot of their practice
So,
time.
but that's typical Russia. Russia does stuff like that. In the prelims, they'll have a game where you're like, what's
Yeah.
what's going on here? So
Yeah.
don't look too
They're
much
trying
into
to
that.
feel it out.
Yeah,
and,
like we're not going to give away because they didn't even pull their goalie until
I know, right?
I thought, like, what isn't this a like they're just weird.
Yeah, I was surprised not to see them activate the D more often. You got to wonder if they're
I don't think they
hiding
want
that a little bit.
I mean, we always hear about this growing up, like World Championships, like World Juniors. The Russians, like, it's almost like they don't want to show too much.
Yeah,
And it's almost like you think when you're watching, it's like, okay, that's just nonsense. They're going out there to play hockey.
yeah,
But like you said, Larionov not pulling the goalie at the end of the game was kind of weird.
they're holding their cards close to their chest. I definitely think that's what they
exactly
were up
what it
to.
was.
Neat seeing Igor Larionov behind the bench there.
Well, yeah, because neat to see the Russians have some younger players instead of all 19-year-olds.
know.
I think they said during the game that also they'll return 8 guys next year.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock in the way they played offensively. I think it's going to be the gold medal game, the rematch all over again. But it was nice to see Canada, like, not playing a game, those guys, in how long, and to beat the Russians.
yeah.
It's a good start. Yeah, Kirby, though, really tough. I know we have the depth to overcome it. I don't know how the rules go. I don't know, like, because I know the team is going to be named to Christmas Eve, I would assume, because Christmas Day this year. Normally it's Christmas Day. I don't know if you can even bring a guy in.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, I thought
So
Gordon Miller said once you're in, you're in.
Yeah,
so,
you're just short a guy and short one of your best players.
But I mean, Tomasino didn't play tonight.
Yeah.
So I mean, Chuck him in. I think they said he had 100 points 62 games last year for Niagara. The team's a buzzsaw. They're just a complete.
Yeah. Thankfully, they have the depth to hopefully overcome an injury like that.
You just feel for the kid.
Yeah,
that's
you really
all you do.
feel for them. And then for the Russians, we've got Tyler's got a couple standouts for you.
I thought Askarov played incredible.
Yeah.
For the Russians. I mean, that kid took a lot of heat last year, and I mean, I think it was injustice. I mean, he was 17 years old. He wasn't even. He was a draft eligible kid. That's going to be a thing with the Russians because every year you always look at the Russian goaltending, you kind of like, but then they had Brod Vasilevsky in that year when they wanted this team because the offense is going to be there. I mean,
it always
you know what I mean? Exactly.
Right?
It's a pre-tournament game.
And they're big boys too.
Oh, God, yes. That's a good team. That guy can steal you a game.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to watch out for. And the Russians, they got skill up front.
Yeah.
They got a lot of... Pazolkin, though, can't pronounce... I'm so bad with these...
Podkolzin.
His third World Junior.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's going to be a big boy to lean on.
Oh, yeah.
3 Leaf prospects on the team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I still hope they lose every game against Russia.
Yeah.
But
Amirov, right?
Amirov.
What number is he wearing?
27 was he tonight?
27.
It's going to take a little bit to use this.
I know, eh?
And... a Bamaron. I can see him so bad with these names. He plays for Victo.
Give Gordon Miller some credit because I'm no expert on the Russians, but some of these names and not only just pronouncing them, but keeping them all together and organized and
and saying them like it's just naturally rolling off his tongue.
Oh yeah,
I can't.
He brought it up tonight too, like the amount of syllables he's just riffing off here. Like it's really impressive. Him and Ray Ferraro are a blast.
Maybe my favorite.
Yeah, to listen to.
Yeah.
It's just so natural. You almost don't notice them there until you're laughing at something that they said, or until you're thinking about how they're analyzing something.
They're good at little jabs back and forth.
Yeah, it's real good.
And did you notice new referee and lineman for every period?
Yeah, that was neat. I think that's just pre-tournament.
That is,
that
was just to get the referees some games and stuff. And kudos to the referees before these open face-offs, mic'd up and say the little thing. And what did they say last night? Santa's watching, boys. Have a good game and drop the puck. And so that's good. Let's have some fun here.
A lot of fun. We're gonna do this as often as possible, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you did like this one, hit the subscribe button down below here, and of course you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Scotian Canadian. Tyler at.
Oh my God.
Tyler Coleman 91.
Yeah, maybe
something like that.
Maybe
if you really want to follow him, you'll eventually find him. Cheers, guys. Go Canada, go!
Yes. This year, the World Juniors kick off on Christmas Day, but the tournament really doesn't start to Christmas night when the Americans take on the Russians. Everybody's going to want to tune into this game. Obviously, these two are always the biggest rivals. Canada kicks off Boxing Day against the Germans. Then we play the 27th against the Slovaks, 29th against the Swiss, and then most likely the deciding game to see who's going to win the pool, the New Year's Eve game this year against the Finns.